Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
This is Duck Insider.
These are good problems to have, right? So much success that you have more than one place to be.
Fly break, touchdown, Oregon.
Off a dribble, launches, and hits the three. Oregon leads.
What a great opportunity it is to be able to play at the University of Oregon.
I'm just incredibly proud to be a part of something like this.
She wants another three. Oh, three in a row.
Swing and a miss. Oregon is headed to the Super Regional.
Fans being out there making this a great impact.
We are so privileged and so fortunate. We get to see all these young people. We get to see this incredible growth, which is what college is all about.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Duck Athletics.
Game week. The Ducks were on the practice field this morning. Ducks will be back on the practice field tomorrow, getting ready for Idaho. A 4:30 kickoff on Big Ten Network. The Ducks hosting the Vandals at Autzen Stadium. A 2:30 pregame show for us across the Oregon Sports Network. Dusty Hara will join us on the sidelines again. We've also got Ryan Milano, Chris Clayton, of course, Jerry Allen, and Mike Jorgensen back again. John Lundquist, 38th season doing stats. And just today, yesterday I should say, John Lundquist brought in his collection of OSN series and a series of season reviews. Scott was going to go through them all. We've got some that Scott edited from just a few years ago. Look at some of these covers, those of you that are watching the show. Great. The VHS tape lives on forever. And a new season begins at Autzen Stadium on Saturday. Coach Dan Lanning, the Oregon football head coach, meeting with the media. His weekly press conference will be every Monday evening this year. And then he'll meet with the media again on Wednesday to sort of finish up game week. We'll have Coach Lanning for you. Also today, Oregon Athletic Director Rob Mullens joining us. It's game week. Things gearing up. We'll talk with Rob. And also, it is match week for Oregon Volleyball. A top 10 showdown to start the season at Matthew Knight Arena. Oregon Volleyball head coach Matt Ulmer will be with us live here coming up in about half an hour. Hoping to pack Matthew Knight Arena. 7:30 start time, prime time volleyball matchup on Friday. Great way to kick off the weekend. Oregon soccer also will be in action this week. And with college football week 0 games now behind us, the Big Ten schedule actually starts on Thursday. How about that? I am concerned that we will be able to pick every Big Ten game every week. I genuinely am not sure if we'll be able to get to everything here, especially Labor Day weekend. There's so many games. Looking forward to it. Now, for the Ducks, getting ready against the Vandals of Idaho. Some of the keys to success. Coach Dan Lanning meeting with the media. His weekly press conference. We always kick off a Tuesday show with that Monday evening press conference brought to you by the Willamette Valley Cancer Institute and Research Center. Better cancer care close to home. Head coach Dan Lanning talking Vandals to start off the football season.
All right. We are finally here. You know, I think as a coach, you're always enjoy all the time you have for prep to get ready for games and to get your team ready to go out there and play. But I think our guys are certainly excited and ready to go hit somebody else and go play somebody else. Got a tremendous amount of respect for Coach Eck and the job that he's done there at Idaho. He's really, made them a really solid team and obviously a playoff team this past year and done a good job of winning, and they have some good stuff schematically that creates challenges for you. Also really excited to see our fans on Saturday. You know, they did an unbelievable job selling out the crowd. I think we'll have an awesome support, really, not just this game, but all the games here at Autzen this year, and we always, relish the opportunity to go out there and play in front of our fans. So,
yeah, Dan, can you get into some just specifics about what Iowa does that, I don't want to say makes you wary, but, what do you see from them?
Well, Idaho.
Yeah. What did I say?
Iowa. I don't think we're playing them this week.
Western guy here.
Yeah. No, I mean, they've got some good skill players. They have some guys on their team that are from Oregon that I think it'll mean a lot to them to get the opportunity to play, here at Autzen. But ultimately, a lot of movements and shifts. I think those are always a challenge when you're playing teams like that. They have a great wide out and Dwyer that does a good job. They've done a good job of acquiring players. Certainly, they've lost a couple players in the portal, but they've done a good job of acquiring players that I think can create, matchups at times. And they just play. They play really hard. They're well coached. They have an identity. I think they're a team that can run the ball well, and obviously we're really explosive last year. On offense and do a good job of running the ball on defense. So they play good team football, are sound in special teams. They do a lot of stuff well.
It was just one start last year, but I think Lane performed really well in that against Idaho State based on the numbers I saw. What can you tell us about what you've seen from him and what kind of a challenge he presents?
Yeah, he's a really good passer. Obviously did a great job in the Idaho State game last year, did well in the spring game. You can tell he understands where to go with the ball and trusts his guys to go get it, but he throws it well. And I think, people probably underestimate his athleticism as well. He's a guy that can run and was a good player here in the state of Oregon. So obviously that's showing up there for them.
One of Idaho's strengths that appears kind of after fall camp was their experience up front. Just do you intend to prepare for that this week?
Yeah, we have to go play, sound football and good football. But, yeah, they have an experienced O-line. I think that's something they're going to lean on for sure. I think they can handle, bigger environments because of that. They've played in some hostile environments like Montana before. This will be a little bit different, I think, here at Autzen. But that's a sound unit. It's a strength of their team. So I don't think it takes anything special or different for our guys beyond knowing that they got to play well and do their job.
Who will be the starting center?
Yeah, we'll see on Saturday. There's a lot of guys that I think can play winning football. So you guys want to know every single starter. For me, it's about how many guys can play, winning football for us. And you could see more than one guy in those situations.
Has there been any separation between Austin and Dante in terms of the backups? And just maybe speak broadly what you saw from both of them.
Yeah, I think both those guys had really good fall camps. Done a good job in the spring as well. And again, I think we have multiple quarterbacks that can play winning football for us. So they both understand our system. Both of those guys have gone over and helped us get looks from the look team as well, which that's the key is playing football, right? Going out there and having an opportunity to play, winning football. But both those guys, I think, can do that for us.
Dan, in your first few years here, your teams really haven't overlooked any opponent. How do you get this year's team to do that? And because we've seen FCS teams give Power 5 teams really hard games.
Yeah, I think you trust in the process, right? We know that we want to set the bar for us. What's our bar? What's our standard? What do we want it to look like? And, being self-aware enough that you can go attack the things that you have to improve. And regardless of who you're playing, when you're playing, we always talk about our biggest opponent is Oregon, right? We have to go play do the best to be the best version of Oregon that we can be.
Coach, you've obviously had quite a few week ones in your career. What do you enjoy most as a head coach with the week one preparation and just getting things, ready for the season to begin?
Yeah, just seeing what kind of team you have, right? And I think a lot of fall camp leads up to that. And like I said, as a coach, I always enjoy having the extra time to prepare and get ready. But as for our players, I'm sure they're excited to get to play somebody else.
The transfer portal, like you, I think, mentioned, hit Idaho pretty hard. When you're preparing for a week one opponent that did have a lot of transfer portal out and transfer portals in, just how do you attack the film of that, and how much do you look into the spring game but also have to go back and look at multiple players that played on multiple teams last season?
Yeah, we do a deep dive. I mean, we watch a lot of different film. They have a really dynamic returner that played at Weber State last year that's been really good. I think he has 5 kickoff returns for touchdowns. So he's had a lot of success, but that's what you do. You go look at other opponents and where are other places that those guys have been and what their film looks like and how it adds up and matches up with your team.
To follow up on the interior line, Dan, how much of this, for context purposes, is coming down to snaps between Charlie and Poncho versus a Charlie at center versus Nishad at guard conversation and dynamic?
I think all things are on the table. I mean, again, how many guys can we have that can play winning football? We'll send out the group that we think has done the best in fall camp to start the game. But I think for us to think long term, we have to be able to prepare and have multiple guys play at multiple positions.
Are you expecting Jaleel and Dave and Gary to be available on Saturday?
I don't think Jaleel or Dave will be available. Gary, I think, could be available.
Talked about wanting to find out how many guys can play. What's the kind of a good number that you look at for a game-by-game basis, and what dictates that?
Yeah, we don't set a number. What's winning football, right? So hopefully, every single guy on our team, but that's not necessarily the case. So we'll play the guys that have earned the opportunity to play. There's some guys that have probably earned the opportunity to play that have a lot of talent in front of them. And if there's a discrepancy, you play the more talented guy or the guy that's ready right now. There's also some guys that are really talented and could help us, but maybe they're just not there yet. So it's game one. We'll go out there and play the guys I think that can contribute to us winning on the football field.
You touch on their kickoff returner. Kickoff coverage was much improved last year relative to the year before. Just how important is that with him back there, and will Boyle be the primary kickoff guy for you guys?
Yeah, I think we had a couple guys that can kick for us, whether it's Boyle or Atticus. Even Gage and Grant have all been able to kick. So I think you could see multiple guys there. Kickoff coverage is really important. It's sound. I mean, it's an opportunity to create an explosive play, but for us, that's our first play on defense. So you have to respect who's back there and make sure you do a good job in your lanes. But that's been, the guy that they have back there has been really aggressive in bringing the ball out, and we have to be aware of that.
Where have you seen improvement in some of the newcomers from the start of fall camp into game week?
Yeah, just execution. I think that's always a bigger leap for guys coming from high school to college, is the amount of stuff that we ask these guys to absorb, and do. And it doesn't matter, how good a football player you are if you're not going the right direction or running the right route or doing the right assignment. So being assignment sound and playing relentlessly, that's what we look for.
We saw you talk about position battles in the Team Out West video. I'm curious, just what were the ones that were really competitive for you guys as a staff this camp?
I mean, honestly, every position, right? Like, we have battles across the board. There's some guys that have established themselves as guys that have played winning football and are clear starters for us. But for us, it's about clocking in every single day. So I think we've seen it in multiple groups on multiple sides of the ball.
With the Big Ten having a universal policy regarding injury reports, Dan, just how do you envision going about that in terms of disseminating information during the course of the week on these nights, on the midweek, of just how you would prefer it so we're not running into any issues along the way before those Saturday reports come out?
You mean from you guys?
Yes.
Yeah, just read it on Saturday. That's when you guys will get it. So if you see it on Saturday, you guys can use it from there.
Yeah, I know it's been a week, but we haven't talked to you since. What were your thoughts on Bo being named the starter at Denver?
Yeah, excited for Bo. You don't know when that's going to happen or come, and I know that's what, Bo realizes. He just went to work. He's gone to work every single day, and now that he's been named that wasn't his goal. It wasn't to just become the starter. It's to play winning football. So I know Bo will be humble and continue to prepare the way he always has, but I think, obviously, Denver's a great fit for him, and they've done a good job of developing him as he's been there.
Coach, all fall camp, you've talked about the growth and the importance of growth the last couple of weeks. Do you feel like heading into week one, you're seeing where your team wants to be at, and how much more can they continue to grow before obviously Saturday comes around?
Yeah, every day. I've been happy with the growth that our team's had. I think they've practiced hard and worked really hard this offseason, but certainly don't want that to stop.
Dan Lanning, the Oregon football head coach, meeting with the media. His weekly press conference will be every Monday evening. I know a lot of folks watched it live, myself included, but every Tuesday we'll have it for you here to kick off Duck Insider. For those of you that maybe are listening to the podcast, or whether it be however you consume Duck Insider, we'll be sure to lead off every Tuesday with Coach Lanning's press conference. At the end of the day, the head coach usually has the most important things to say for a various program, doesn't he? When we come back, Oregon Athletic Director Rob Mullens will be with us. We've also got Oregon Volleyball head coach Matt Ulmer. And then I should tell you, today, Kenyon Sadiq, Tatum Tuioti, and the quarterback, one of the quarterbacks at least, Dylan Gabriel, met with the media. We'll have all that for you coming up, if not today, then throughout the week. Keep it here. Rob Mullens with us next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Hey Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial. Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
You're listening to Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys, I love this song. I love these nachos. I love our kickball league. Ugh! I love this guy. What's your name? You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love your car. Is this real leather?
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
We're back on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack with you in the Country Financial Studio, and Oregon Athletic Director Rob Mullens is here with us. Happy game week.
Here we go.
How are
Let's
things?
go. Doing well. A lot going on.
Yeah, that's a good thing, right?
Oh yeah, it's a lot of work goes in over the summer to get ready, but there's always a few things that come right down to the wire.
Well, but would you have it any other way?
Yeah, I would. But that's all right. That's just the way it goes.
There's always a little bit of an adrenaline rush, though.
Absolutely.
I say it kind of jokingly, like that's part of why we get into this.
Well, yeah, and there's just certain things that you have to do this week.
Right.
So yeah,
there's always some of that.
We're
game
ready to
week. Ticket sales have gone well. It sounds
outstanding.
Like,
Really appreciate the Duck Nation stepping up. Obviously, we've talked about the season ticket sales and sold out this first game with Idaho. So yeah, it's going to be it's going to be fun to see Otts and Electric again.
How rewarding is it? I suppose we talked about the season tickets last time you were on, but just to see the Idaho game sell out to open the season a week in advance of the game, a little more than a week. That's pretty cool.
That's great. And obviously, our students aren't back yet.
Right.
So to be able to do that, while our student body, the majority of our student body is, still at home, is significant, and that. It matters to our student athletes. It matters to our coaches, and obviously, we only get 7 of these at home, and so we want to make them as great an experience for the fans and for the student athletes as possible. And when it's sold out, it's a different kind of atmosphere.
I've asked you over the years, what a game day looks like for you, and I don't know if it's changed much over a little more than a decade now.
No, it's still it's a great opportunity. All of our closest friends are here.
Yep.
To get around, and I love the pageantry of college football, so it's fun to get around the tailgating scene, check in on the staff, and just, get out and enjoy it with everybody.
Now, I got to ask, though, what do you think of the Big Ten boat for concessions? Look at that thing.
Woo! What are we serving nachos in that?
That's nachos in one of them, or you get a burger with 2 pounds of French fries, or you get a chicken sandwich with a few pounds of French fries.
Whoa, we better bring your appetite for that. Holy cow.
It is a 2-hand hold, and I recommend, after I sampled them last Friday, thanks to John Sargent, I recommend 2 people.
Yeah, you might need a nap. If one person eats all that, you're probably going to need a nap.
It's
might need your own halftime.
That's right. 4:30, that halftime comes quick if you go through an entire burger. But, concessions, just another example, Rob. I always want to keep Autzen Stadium fresh.
Yeah, John and his team do a fantastic job. And, again, that's part of the fan experience, right, of making sure that we're on the cutting edge with those and provide outstanding service. And so I know they've got some new exciting options.
Back at Autzen Stadium, coming up, 4:30. It's going to be fun to have everybody there. Stripe out, by the way. So what does the AD do? Do you go green? Do you go yellow? Do you split yourself in half?
I hadn't really thought about it because I will be in all the sections.
I was going to say, you're going to move around.
Maybe I'll go green up top and yellow down below. I don't know.
Our broadcast booth sits right at the split of a section.
Okay.
So we could actually have one side of the broadcast booth yellow, one side green.
Let's get that coordinated.
I think we'll do our best. I'll be honest, I have way more green than I do yellow.
Yeah. Oh, I probably do too. The great thing is with the weather, obviously when we try to do this, if we get some of that liquid sunshine, it's hard to do and get the aerial effect that you have when you do it. The weather's going to be spectacular.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just actually thinking back to the Colorado game was the last time we did a stripe out. Looked great. From up high. So here's hoping for – it's supposed to be 90 degrees at kickoff.
Yeah. No, it's going to be great. We've had great weather this week and get in early.
Yeah.
fill it up, and we'll get an iconic aerial shot.
That's right. I did see one fan ask, is episode 4 about to stream? No official announcement, but you might see that Team Out West, another episode, the documentary Hard Knock style inside Oregon football coming a little later on. There's probably going to be a uniform reveal at some point this week, too. What else do people get excited about, Rob?
Well, hopefully kickoff.
That's right. Yeah, that's good. Yeah,
that's true. We're getting to the games.
Yeah, that's true. That's good. What else should fans know on the football subject, Rob? I mean, it's the start of a new era.
It is the start of a new era. Obviously, we're extremely excited. The student athletes are so excited because, I mean, people sometimes lose focus, but they start training in January for these 12 opportunities.
Yeah.
And the first one comes Saturday. They only get 7 at home. So I've noticed when I've had the chance to be around the student athletes, there's an energy of, we're getting ready to play somebody else.
There's no doubt that phrase, the dog days of camp, enters your mind over the course.
It does,
of
although I will say, I mean, I'm not out there every day, but I'm out there occasionally. And when I am out there, the energy has been really, really impressive.
Yeah, the 2-spot practices, that's been a huge focus, I feel like, from the narrative standpoint this camp, because once you develop that depth, then you can have a true 11 on 11, 22 on 22 on each field. That's a big deal.
No, and it's great for the student athletes, right? Because they're all competitors. They're all elite athletes. They want to get the reps to give them a chance to get on the field on Saturday.
Yeah.
And, when you're doing that 2-field issue, practice, everybody's getting more opportunity.
I'm kind of curious, Rob. Like we talk so much on the segments with you, certainly about the student-athlete experience, the success on the field, on the court, wherever. But there's also so much that goes on around the games, right? How nice is it for you, like, when you finally just watch kickoff? I mean, you mentioned, kickoff is exciting. Like, does that ever wear off on you for someone in your position?
No, I absolutely love it. And, it's – we're all, it's kind of all hands on deck. You see it in the hallways here. You go over to the Duck store, and everybody's hustling to get ready for Saturday to provide that exceptional experience. And then you want everything to go perfectly on Saturday. Not every Saturday goes perfectly, but it is fun to get the kickoff.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the first to admit that I am guilty of this, that, you start working in sports and it's not as much of a hobby. It's the job too.
Yes.
Right. That certainly happens to me, but then every now and then, and I think it happens usually right around kickoff, like pregame show's done, everything hopefully is working on the broadcast, and then it's football.
Yeah, here we go. That's why we do all this.
Right. Exactly. Like, I don't know. It's just nice to have that perspective and be reminded of it sometimes, I suppose. Let's get time out. We're going to come back. I want to talk with you a lot today about volleyball because it's match week.
It is big match week, yes.
Yeah. So we're going to do that. Oregon Athletic Director Rob Mullens here with us. More to come. Keep it here. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
There's still time to squeeze more out of summer at Toyota's National Sales Event. Now, if I can just squeeze more clothes into this suitcase for my road trip, got it!
Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Event ends September 3rd. Toyota, let's go places.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
There's still time to squeeze more out of summer at Toyota's National Sales Event. Now, if I can just squeeze more clothes into this suitcase for my road trip, got it!
Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Event ends September 3rd. Toyota, let's go places.
This is Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I lack a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Comes to a gun suicide attempt, all it takes is a moment.
My son, Ricky, took his life by the use of a firearm.
It broke me, and I contemplated suicide. My grandson, I was gonna have to be here for him. I still own my firearm. I keep it in a safe because I want to keep my grandson and myself safe.
Store your guns, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo. Hear more safe stories at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
You know, now that just reminds me, like, every fourth quarter, that's a moment where I go, boy, this is why you get into this industry.
Well, and there's so many of those things. The motorcycle, coming home, shout.
I say this all the time. There are not very many programs, colleges in America. There's not very many things that have 2 theme songs. That's hard to do.
It is hard
and then
to
you
do.
add the Oregon Fight song. Really, that's probably the theme song of the university. I mean, 3.
Here we go.
For the University of Oregon. Not bad. Oregon Athletic Director Rob Mullens joining us. It's Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. So, football, there's so much energy. There's so much excitement for this season. It just does feel like a buzz. Usually the Friday before the first home game, I used to call it power washing season. You can probably identify with that more than most. There's always a lot of power washers around here, but you know, like the amount of people that I've even just seen this month walking around here, that makes it pretty exciting.
It does. You know, and that's one of the great things about college athletics is it is a kind of a community activity, right? And it's a gathering spot. And so, it kind of builds throughout the week. We'll see some more on Wednesday, and then Thursday it picks up, and then Friday it's very busy.
Well, and then Friday night, which brings me to 7:30 at Matthew Knight Arena. Oregon Volleyball head coach Matt Ulmer is coming up next segment. Huge matchup start season. Top 10 matchup between Pittsburgh and Oregon at Matthew Knight Arena at 7:30.
Yeah, and this is a return match, right? We made that trip to Pittsburgh last year. You know,
beat
obviously, and Pittsburgh, I think they made the Final Four, didn't they? Yeah. So, exceptional program, and I think they're ranked top 5. We're right around top 10. So, incredible opportunity. You know, and now that we're in the best volleyball league in the country, who, tends to have the most difficult home atmospheres. We want to be one of those. And, we know a lot of folks come into town. The hotels are filled. So love for those folks that are looking for something to do to get out to Matthew Knight Arena, be a huge boost to our volleyball team.
Well, and, you talked, Rob, about the conference as a whole. I mentioned this last week and earlier this week. You may not find in any sport in college athletics, you may not find a more competitive sport in a single conference than volleyball. I mean, it's something.
Yeah, no, I that's a very fair assessment. It is deep. It is powerful at the top. If you look historically, if you look at the fan bases, the TV ratings, the level of talent, the coaching, it is top of the top.
Yeah, really off the chart. So we'll talk a little bit more volleyball coming up with Oregon Volleyball head coach Matt Ulmer. And I did want to mention with you too, Rob, like filling up Matthew Knight Arena. You mentioned like that home advantage. I don't know if word's gotten to you yet, but Coach Ulmer did agree to dye his beard green if we average 4,000 fans per volleyball match.
Okay. All right.
I think it's attainable, Rob.
I think it is, and we have shown when we set these marks, with whether it be season tickets, and he
follows through.
He does follow through. Here's an opportunity.
Yeah. I told him he didn't need to do it for a match, but he just has to make an appearance on Duck Insider and Greenbeard.
Why not Friday night against a top 5 team, get a big number in there to set the standard to, get that beard green.
So if you're coming into town for football, we get it, make a weekend out of it. Right, you got volleyball on Friday and then also volleyball on Sunday. Oregon soccer also in action.
Oregon soccer and volleyball's at a good time. You can do your dinner before or after. So, love to see us pack Matthew Knight Arena. New court.
Yep. See, look at that. That was a tease. Good. Well, you've done this once or twice, Rob. But, and actually, I guess on that front too, like the new floor, there's so much excitement around the design and being different, of course, the University of Oregon. And also, I think, cool benefit for the student athletes now with that new type of volleyball-specific floor.
Yes.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, volleyball-specific flooring. And so, it'll look different. It's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, if you want Oregon athletics to compete against the best, credit Matt Ulmer for scheduling a top 10 team right out of the gate. And, we're going to challenge ourselves and a home court advantage. And these are the types of games, even though it's game 1 in August, when we get to the end of the volleyball season, and you're on the bubble for hosting or, getting a better seed, these are the types of performances that can send you over the top. One, your willingness to play a non-conference top 5 opponent. And then if you can beat them, that's a big piece on your resume.
And in volleyball, it's so important to have those national seeds because there's so much hosting that goes on throughout that tournament.
Absolutely. And the opportunity to start at home is significant.
Yeah. One thing too, Rob, I've talked about this a little bit on the air. It's going to be fascinating. You talk about the power of volleyball. Like, you've been on these selection committees.
Yes.
That's going to be tough if you're looking at the Big Ten. Like, that might be 13, 14 teams from the Big Ten.
Yeah, and we've seen that from other conferences and other sports. When you can win these types of non-conference matches, it just further solidifies the strength of your conference.
Yeah, it makes sense. Oregon Athletic Director Rob Mullens with us. Since you were last on, Oregon soccer season officially underway.
Yeah, it was fun to see them get 2 wins at home. Obviously, the team's done a phenomenal job in the spring, over the summer, and to open up with 2 wins, exciting wins at home in front of nice little crowds at Pape, which is fun. Then took a tough road trip, but it'll be fun to have them back home.
Yeah, Sunday, the Ducks are taking on CSUN. Now, you can choose if you want to be outside at Pape Field or inside at Matthew Knight Arena on Sunday, following that Oregon football game. The cross-country season officially starts this week.
They obviously they've started training, and they're ready to get going as well. They're doing a little altitude training.
That's right.
So, yeah, better them than me.
I can agree on that one. They're going to be in Orem coming up on Friday. We'll have an update for you on Friday's show, depending on when results shake out. I always thank you for taking the time. What did we miss?
I think we're good. I mean, again, I think there's a lot of buzz. I think there's a lot of excitement in our building, around our campus, in our community, and it'll be fun to get to Friday night, filling up Matthew Knight Arena, and then have everybody back in Autzen on Saturday. Can't wait.
4:30 is a good kickoff time.
It's a great kickoff time.
Yeah, I know kickoff times never come across your desk. That topic never comes up.
It's kind of like music selection and volume. It's hard to get much above 51%.
I'm going to steal that from you.
Yeah.
That was, it's... Some people love the 11 a.m. kick.
Some people love it. Some people, I know it surprises some, but some people like the 7 o'clock kick because we didn't have one until towards the end last year, and people were starting to say, why haven't we had any 7 o'clock kicks?
I think the point is we like variance.
I think that is probably what works best because for wherever you are in your life, around kids' activities or other commitments, people like different times.
I'm in.
And this time of year, it's beautiful in the Pacific Northwest. 4:30. We're going to get to see the sunset probably. Works out great.
Yeah. Oregon Athletic Director Rob Mullens, thanks for the time.
All right, appreciate it.
When we come back, previewing that top 10 matchup at Matthew Knight Arena, Duck Volleyball head coach Matt Ulmer on his way, and some more Oregon football interviews as well. Keep it here on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Back to the Country Financial Studios in 60 seconds. This is Duck Insider from Learfield.
This message is for Shauna, my mom, who just finished her high school diploma. I wanted to say I'm so proud of you for finishing school. You taught me it's never too late to achieve your dreams. I hope to make you as proud as you have made me.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
You said you'd never buy your kid candy from the checkout aisle. Or forget extra diapers. You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face. Never, ever become a minivan mom. So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, know it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Matt Ulmer's here, Duck Volleyball head coach. Tuesday is a good day. You get Coach Lanning's weekly press conference from Monday night. Then you get a senior administrator. Today it was Rob Mullens. And then you always have the cleanup hitter on a Tuesday. Or just the All-American outside hitter. Is that the equivalent for your sport?
You know, the last time I tried to play baseball on a team, do you know what I was in the batting order?
9.
11. Ouch.
So you played in Little League where everybody had to hit?
Yeah.
I feel like you would have been a decent
But
pitcher.
you know when I tried to do that, and it was still Little League rules, but I was a senior in high school. I decided my senior of high school, I hadn't played baseball and I don't even know how long, but I was like, I'm going to try this again. And I was 11.
Was volleyball the only sport you played like long, like your whole life?
Remember, I was very short.
I know.
So freshman year of high school, I was 4'11".
I feel like you could have been a really good basketball player, though.
But I was like the size of the ball.
Yeah, but if you could
freshman
dribble.
year. Yeah, I don't know if I could do that. Yeah, 4'11" without handles is probably not ideal to most coaches.
So you're telling me that
I grew later. Now I can play adult leagues. Like it's
Sure.
probably my best chance now.
Yeah, because you're tall.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I can be more than just tall.
And you're athletic.
Don't put me in a box.
Putting you in a box.
I heard the
is- you're
athletic piece. I'll take that.
Yeah.
That's good.
Boy, you were ready to jump me, and
You
then
really
I gave
dragged
you a
with that.
compliment.
Yeah,
and
I
then-
heard it as I was going. Yeah.
Ooh.
Thanks. I'm
think
trying.
I think that's 1 for Joey on the scoreboard over there. By the way, you're still up 3 on the Dillard family.
Thank you.
So
every time I shoot hoops in the practice courts, you know, Coach Graves and Coach Altman can see. But like Dana will come down and I'm shooting. He goes, "Yeah, stick to volleyball." I was like, "Okay, cool."
But have you ever
Thanks.
had Coach Altman try to bump a volleyball?
I'm sure he'd actually be really good at it.
Yeah,
He
is.
strikes me as a very, very skilled human.
So sometimes before, like while the guys are putting their shoes on and he's just like out there on the basketball floor dribbling, usually he claps his hands for a while pre-shoot around. He also will take shots. It's rare that Coach Altman misses.
Yeah,
like
that's
he
what
just,
I'm saying.
Right around the key,
Yeah.
Coach Altman, dangerous.
It's the guys that don't talk a lot, you know, that you got to watch for.
Is he in that category?
I feel like he's, you know, you don't expect it, and then bam.
In practice, Coach Altman gets after it. He's a competitive guy.
Okay, that's fair.
Definitely.
Yeah, but he's not bragging about his skill set. Or that's
no,
what I mean.
definitely not. Definitely
Yeah.
not. In fact, I hope Coach won't mind me telling this story, but I think you'll get it as a head coach yourself. You'll get a kick out of this. He happened to be at football practice, and there were some fans that were walking around the courtyard outside, and one of them was from Nebraska, and he looked at me and he said, "Was that Coach Altman that just walked by?" And I said, "Oh yeah." He goes, "I knew by his walk." Apparently, like the walk up and down the court, he was
Yeah.
doing the same.
It's a
walk.
very strong walk.
It is.
Yeah.
And then he said, "You know, my brother played with him, and he was really good."
See.
And so Coach Altman is often the self-depreciating guy that's like, "Oh, I was just the JC guy."
Yeah.
Well, this one fan, here we are, 40 years later, was like, "No, he was
Yeah.
really good."
Yeah. See, we know Kelly was good because of the Wendy's commercial, right? So we
Very
knew
much.
that.
If
but-
you don't know what we're talking about, Google Kelly Graves Wendy's commercial. It's worth your time.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. What would your commercial be? What would you do in a
Greenbeard, apparently, right?
Yeah. Did Rob mention that to you on his way out?
No.
Oh, good.
Uh-oh.
I just made sure that Rob was aware that if we average 4,000 fans for every volleyball match this season, that you will dye your beard green.
Yeah, you told him that it wasn't for like a match, right?
Correct. I did.
Yeah.
Right? I want studio witnesses. I did say it's not for a match. It would just be for like Duck and Cider or something like that. Did you get familial approval? Family said yes?
My kids are excited.
Good. Good.
Yeah. I mean, she won't divorce me for that, right?
What if we did it like right around Halloween? Wouldn't be quite the end of the
Still
season.
in season.
Yeah, but
lots of
maybe
games.
at that point, if it's 4,000, we could just do it then.
Yeah. Okay.
And then
Well,
we could
The problem is that you don't know the average.
But then
by
we
then.
could.
We still
I'm
have a
saying
lot of
by
home
then,
games.
what's the average? Then we double down and you die at yellow if it happens the rest of the season.
Okay. Yeah, there's something there.
Good.
Okay.
Great. Also, I'd like to create a petition. So this is going to be the concessions souvenir bowl at football this year.
For a banana split?
Actually, it's for nachos, for a burger,
Yeah.
and for a chicken sandwich, along with pounds of French fries.
Yeah.
So I was wondering.
Let's see.
I think that we next year should do one at Matthew Knight Arena.
That would be heavy.
The big volleyball
That would be heavy.
concession item.
This is intense. I like
Yeah.
this though.
It's a lot.
It's a great idea. I saw all the food options. I'm very excited.
Great snack bowl. When you
Oh,
take
yeah.
it home,
Yeah.
great snack bowl.
Yeah. I bet.
How's practice
It's
going?
a keeper, huh? Good. We had an exhibition on Saturday.
Tell us about it.
At Oregon State.
Wait, we got to make sure that your ball is
adjust,
straight
please.
and they're looking right at the camera.
Yeah. That's good looking.
First career win ball, still on the
It's
desk.
got a lot more dust on it than it used to.
That's not true.
No, I just mean time. Time's passing.
Oh.
Getting older, you know?
The hair is getting grayer.
Thank you.
Saturday.
So Saturday
in Corvallis, what happened?
Yeah, it was great to see us play somebody else.
Yeah.
It was great to get to play at Oregon State. We really appreciate them hosting it. I think it was really important for our group. I think a lot of nerves. I think a lot of the team's putting a lot of pressure on themselves to be great, which is awesome. However, that just doesn't really help us, execute well. So we're gonna have to battle that better. We're gonna have to find some solutions there. No doubt that they want to be great. No doubt that they have the talent for it. So they're just gonna have to take deep breaths, relax a little bit more, and play together. Try to have a little bit more fun. I think that was something that we learned there. We had 18 service errors in 4 sets, and
that really got
I think that's
you.
what it was. It was 27 points in the serve and pass game. So it's pretty hard. Having said that, the score was even. It was no net point differential between the two teams, and we gave up 27 points in that department. So
correctable things.
Yes. Yeah. At least the service piece, that's on our side, right? That has nothing to do with the other side. And it wasn't even like we were trying to do, asking too much. It was just about, I think, trying not to do too much with our serve. So that's definitely going to have to get better here quickly. So working on that. And we get to start, practicing downstairs in the main court. On our new floor today, and that's super exciting that we could have that, for the weekend. So we're pumped. I know they're excited about that. But, serving piece, definitely that was a big shining, weakness. So we're going to have to get better at that. And especially with the schedule we're playing, you got to be a good serving team. And I feel like we do talk about that every year. But overall, we blocked over 4 balls a set. That was really encouraging, really physical up at the net. We only made 10 attack errors. We had a high percentage. We were around 300 for the match. So there was tons of positives, but it's really hard to gain an advantage on the team when you're not serving the ball inbounds and giving yourself a chance to play defense. So I think valuable learning lessons. We played a lot of different people, kind of seeing how everybody could do, and I think, again, things stuck out, positive and negative, and it helps me focus on practice planning and where we need to go to get ready for Pittsburgh.
Sounds like, though, improved the serve, and you played pretty efficiently. You liked what you saw.
I mean, so in order for us to score more points, we got to serve the ball in to give us a chance, right? So we need more swings. And again, if we're blocking that well and we're digging enough balls, then you got to give your block and your defense a chance to play. And I just feel like we were a little immature that way with that. So I think the team understood it, and now it's something that we need to definitely improve upon.
To that point too, you touched on, they're trying. That's why you schedule an exxibition, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's why you have these in the first place.
Yeah, and I appreciate being on the road for the first one too, just trying to make it more uncomfortable. Because now Pittsburgh, Long Beach coming in, they're going to make us feel uncomfortable in our own house, so we just are going to have to battle that. And again, we just have a really tough schedule being in the conference that we're going to be in here with the Big Ten. I think 5 of the top 10 teams in the country on the preseason poll are in our conference. And, and then we play Pittsburgh as number 4. So it's, we're just going to be tested, and it's a new group playing together, so it's going to take us a little bit of time, but we just don't have a ton, so we need to continue to learn quickly.
Yeah, so what were those takeaways, I guess, when you play a lot of different people? You must have a better idea of who fits well in each spot at this point.
Yeah, kind of seeing, who plays better next to each other, who attacks better next to each other, blocks better. Trying to see, we have Chris and Robbie both setting and seeing kind of what that looks like. Try Daly and McKenzie, switch them as liberos, see what that looks like. And then the 3 middles rotating around and seeing kind of where they fit. And I think you saw some things that were the better combinations for us, and how we're going to be able to set up better. So we're trying to figure out our rotation so that we can solidify them. And again, we're not easing into it. We're going right up against Pittsburgh. So this is a really important week for practice to try to dial that in the best we can, and be ready to go give our best shot here on Friday.
And in the larger picture, I guess, like you touched on how your practice plans adjust and change, and now how big of a deal is it to be practicing on that new floor, get comfortable on that main floor? That's got to be a big part of this too.
Yeah, I mean, you want this to be a home court advantage, right? And part of that obviously is having our fans here, which I know we're going to show out for, which
5,000,
is super exciting.
Let's go.
Let's go. Come on, let's
fill
go.
up Matthew Knight Arena. Greenbeard.
Greenbeard. Hashtag Greenbeard.
You have no idea what's happening.
Okay. That was a joke.
Was it?
I mean, it was to me. And then, but just being down, on our court, and the ball floats a little different. So just getting used to all those things, So again, we have a lot of people that have not competed at Matthew Knight Arena in their career.
Right.
So it's like, we know Pittsburgh hasn't, but we haven't either. So we need to get some reps, and so we're excited to start doing that today.
It's interesting. Like I was just talking with Rob about this. This is the return where you guys went there, but a lot of new faces on your roster let's see. So now I'm doing some math. Actually, so there's less that were there than – you see what I'm saying?
No, I have no idea what you're saying.
We're
a very different looking team. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
we had some people that were on the bench watching.
There's still a few.
Daly, Colby, and
trip.
Nini were on the floor, and they're out there now. So, I mean, but they're vastly similar, and we're very different. But, we had, Noemi was there and Oni was there, on the sideline watching, and, they know what that's about. They know what what Pittsburgh looks like. And things like that. But, I think that's part of the nerves is that people have just been waiting their turn and they're getting it. So they're really excited,
What do you say as a coach in that situation? Like they're trying so hard and sometimes you can over try. I guess.
Appreciate your effort. Right. Yeah. Trying not to make it as emotional, try to get a better mindset. Coach Rad gave a speech this morning about attack mindset. And, I thought that was really good. And I think that hit home.
Legend.
So legend. Yes. Yes. I'm happy he wants to work with us.
He is amazing, though.
He is amazing.
Yeah.
And our team really appreciates when he speaks. They listen very intently, as they should. So I thought that was really good. And then, again, just try to, talk to them about numbers. Like, here's some metrics we're trying to meet. And as bad as they felt they played, on Saturday, when you look at the numbers, it wasn't as bad as you felt, right? So, again, trying to stay away from the emotional side of it. And actually, let's just go back to this next point and, do the things that we're trying to do the best we can. And then do that again and do that again. Our sport, we've talked about it. Our sport is so difficult because every play's a point, right? So it can be a really emotional game, and if you get tied up in that, points can clump together, and it can get away from you quickly. So we're gonna have to be a lot more mentally tough and reset much quicker. And I think that's something we've done pretty well the past couple of years. And again, this is a new group, and now they're going to have to learn how they're going to do that, how they're going to handle it together.
I remember a few years ago, you and I talked about mental toughness and just how important that is, especially in your sport. How much of that is experience? Like you just kind of have to go through it. And I guess maybe what do you say to young players to have them gain that experience and know how to be mentally tough in that way? I mean, it's one thing to say be mentally tough, but it's very different thing to get to that point, I'd imagine.
Yeah, a couple things come to mind. I mean, one, we're still trying to figure out as a group, like, what their responsibilities are on the floor, right? Trying to figure out what are they supposed to do in the situation, et cetera, how they're supposed to handle it. So part of it is we're not even able to focus yet on competing against the other side because we're still trying to figure out our side, right? Because we just haven't had that much time together. So I think that part will ease as we go on and we kind of get a group out there that gets to play a lot more together. We just haven't had that luxury of that. Where the last couple of years we kind of had a very large bulk of the people coming back, and they were already very comfortable in their roles and responsibilities, so it was easier to get there quicker. The other piece of that, again, if you think about like basketball or football, I mean, they can go for plays and plays and plays and plays where you make an error or whatever, but it's not costing you a point. There's not a point going on the board. And I think that is a different mentality than literally anything you do that's wrong. Like it's going to actually tangibly be on the board and cost you. So our sport is just really, we talked about, a game of errors. And so you're going to have to handle that so much better. Again, if you're a first team All-American, if you're an outside that can hit 300 on our team, 3 out of 10. And I asked them today, I was like, would you be okay with anything else in your life if you were a 3 out of 10? Like, no, they're high achievers. They get great grades. Like that would drive them crazy. And it's like here, like that, you have to understand that's
an A.
That's excellent. right? Excellent. You're an All-American if you're doing that. So just the idea of kind of how to handle the disappointment, more.
The comparison to baseball comes to mind because the old Hall of Fame joke is like, you can fail 7 out of 10 times and you're in the Hall of Fame in Major League Baseball.
Exactly.
You also touched another baseball comp, if I could, like just the metrics and kind of taking the emotion out, showing those numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like you, and I know that you do this, like you make a conscious effort as someone who is emotionally in tune, but you show those metrics and it does just make it a numbers game. Like, how valuable do you find that is to the modern student athlete?
I think at least with our group that we've had, like their care factor is very high.
Yeah, sure.
Right? Like this group wants to be great. I think they feel pressure to be great because our last few teams have been very good, so they're trying to, I think, meet that standard, which I think everybody who's a Duck fan can appreciate that's how they feel. However, that's not necessarily going to help them achieve that, if not channeled correctly, so again, trying to get them to properly get their headspace, right where it needs to be, so they can just work on being their best selves, every point. And that's how you're actually going to get to your goals and how you're going to get success. So trying to help them through that, and I think, again, anything I can do right now, because there were a lot of emotions, I think, in the scrimmage, anything I can help them to do to kind of get rid of some of those emotions or quiet those down, that's, I feel like, the tack that I'm going to take.
On the metric front, too, I'm kind of curious. Like, you and I have talked before about how video and film has changed your sport so much just because there's so much more available out there. What about the data? I know we've talked about this a little bit before, but now heading into a new season, there's more and more technology around everything. I don't know. Like, how much does the data impact the modern player, but also I know it impacts the coaching strategy too?
Yeah, I mean, I think with anything, like, I'm trying not to get them to overthink things.
Yeah.
So even within a scouting report, I know that if we give too much information, then they're not going to play free.
Too much,
I don't want them to overthink. So our staff tries to pour hours into coming up with a scouting report that we give them just a couple highlights. And so we know that we've done the research, and then we're going to give them the things that they need to really pay attention to. Our best bet is when they're playing free, they're able to read what's going on the other side and make good reads, and that they should make because of what the game is showing them, as opposed to what we're telling them to do. So it's good for them to understand tendencies, right? So we better make sure we're good with giving our scouting report, and all the numbers and metrics come into that and watching film. But also, I don't want them spending too much time doing that and paralyzing them, with all the thought.
Duck volleyball season starts on Friday, 7:30. Oregon hosting Pittsburgh, top 10 matchup. Looking forward to having everybody at Matthew Knight Arena. Televised on Big Ten Network as well. Pack MKA, keys to success. What's it going to take?
Well, let's serve in. Okay, we're going to start there. No. I think for us it's going to be that attack mindset, right? They got to go out there, as a group, and we just need to, focus in on giving our best. Each and every point, resetting, going back. Pittsburgh's going to make some great plays, and that can't carry over for multiple points. It's congratulations. We did the best we could to make them make the greatest play, and now it's our turn, and we just go back and forth. Again, last time we played them, it was 17-15 in the fifth or 19, something like that. Yeah. So you can just expect a lot of back and forth, a lot of physicality on both sides, a lot of high level attacking and blocking, and I think it'll be a pretty entertaining match.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And fans, you get to see that new floor too.
Yeah.
Excited?
I am excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We get to ask you next week what it was like.
Okay. Yeah. I'll have an answer.
Looking forward to that.
Thank you.
Thanks, Greenbeard. He's Matt Ulmer,
Thanks.
Oregon Volleyball head coach. And when we come back, full week preview. It's game week. It's match week. It's the best time of year on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial.
Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Duck Insider continues from the Country Financial Studios in 1 minute on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
We're back on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack with you here in the Country Financial Studio. You know, I was thinking about this, talking with a few of my colleagues earlier today, that it's so fun when you get Oregon volleyball, cross country, and football all starting the same weekend. The only thing that would make it better is if cross country starts at home. The Ducks will be on the road in Orem, Utah for the first cross-country event of the season on Friday. We'll, of course, have our Duck Insider picks coming at you on Friday. But it makes for such a fun weekend when you get this top 10 awesome volleyball start to the season on Friday. Then you have football. It doesn't matter who football is playing. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be an outstanding environment at Autzen Stadium. Just because, one, it's football, two, it's the environment, it's the expectation, it's everything. And I loved that Rob said this earlier, Rob Mullens, that, you know, it's a community event. Really is a community event. Game day operations will, for the most part, be the same this season. A few fans have asked, like, there's actually, just so people are aware, MLK now has bus lanes on going each direction. So the road looks a little different, but on game day, same traffic pattern that you're used to coming into Autzen Stadium. Look forward to seeing everybody here. Thanks to Dan Lanning, Rob Mullens, Matt Ulmer. Good show today. If you're jonesing for more football interviews, Kenyon Sadiq, Tatum Tuioti, and Dylan Gabriel, our Quack Video crew's got them all up on YouTube. Tomorrow, Rob Mosley, Dan Lanning, our guests. See ya.
Substance use disorder and addiction is so isolating. And so, as a Black woman in recovery, hope must be loud. It grows louder when you ask for help and you're vulnerable.